Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Media Boat Podcast, your weekly rundown where we talk movies, TV, music, and video games. Not necessarily in that order, though. My name is Mike. His name is Matt.
My name is Matt. His name is Mike. Thank you for joining us on the Media Boat Podcast. It is February the 6th, 2026. It is episode 524. We're the Media Boat Podcast. We do everything he just said he was, and we got a packed show. In fact, so packed, we're going to have to make it compact and get through it quickly. So let's just get straight to it.
Yep, we're gonna start with the music section. Start the music section, the Billboard. Start the Billboard with the Hot 100, and the hottest song in the land is Aperture by Harry Styles.
Sure, new Harry Styles single is going to get attention. So there you go.
At 2, Choosing Texas by Ella Langley. At 3, Man I Need by Olivia Dean. At 4, Golden by Hunt Tricks, the various artists. And right, your top 5, The Fate of Ophelia by Taylor Swift.
Yep.
Notice who's not in the top 5 anymore? That's right, Bruno Mars had his 1 week in the sun and got booted out top 5.
Goes to show you who's on top these days. Does Harry Styles fans have more power? Probably.
And Bruno Mars fans just don't.
Not as much
Not
anymore.
as much. As for your album chart, your Billboard 200, at number 1 is Megadeth by Megadeth.
Mhm.
But at 2 is the problem himself, Morgan Wallen. At 3, The Art of Loving by Olivia Dean. At 4, With Heaven on Top by Zach Bryan. And running our top 5, Don't Be Dumb, like ASAP Rocky.
Yeah, exactly.
If you like any of those albums, well, is this the first Megadeth that's gotten one over
I
one?
actually don't know. It's possible, but I wouldn't rule it out. The Billboard 200 is the more eclectic of the two charts, so
Yes.
it's possible. It's more possible there, but we'll see.
If you like any of those albums, we have new releases,
Hmm.
including The Fall of J. Cole. I'm sorry, that's The Fall Off by J. Cole. We also have Ugh by Mandy, Indiana.
Yep.
Sunday Best by Nick Jonas. Normal Isn't by Pussifier. Sing into an empty chair by Ratboys. I'm sure you're excited about this one. And lastly, Tenterhooks by Silver Sun Pickups. Yes, those Silver Sun Pickups. Name you probably haven't heard in a long, long time.
No, it's been quite a while, hasn't it?
All right, let's get into the music section. And there was one thing on everyone's mind this past weekend. All the little buttons saying ice out at the
Mhm.
Grammys.
Yeah, what a Grammys night. I think my read overall is I think it was a good year, for the most part. I thought the performances were stellar this year. I thought there were a lot of highlights, including Tyler, the Creator's exploding gas station of a performance. That was wonderful. I thought the medleys that they did, including the lengthy in memoriam segment, were pretty well produced and pretty well done. So yeah, I was pretty much satisfied with the night as it went on. I have to say, we did horribly at our predictions. The winners, unlike the performances, seemed like they were just throwing darts at a dartboard, and they didn't really follow any particular narrative. No single artist swept. No single artist really won multiple Grammys over the course of the night, besides the one in the pre-show. Um, and largely it wasn't super surprising, but at the same time, there wasn't like a super like solidified like uniting force between any of it. Did feel fairly random. Just to recap the winners, Olivia Dean is your best new artist. Sure, why not? Record of the year. What even was record of the year? Was can't remember.
It was one of the big ones because it wasn't Bad Bunny. It wasn't apt.
Wait, I have the thing I can pull up real quick. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just a
It,
bizarre
yeah, I
list of
think out of
winners.
every like because we normally do these like brackets and challenges where we try and
Yeah,
figure
yeah.
out, okay, what do we want to win and versus what's going to win.
This is the worst we've
And
ever done.
I mean, I think four total wins was the winner
So
between us.
six. I had six. So
Oh,
out
we
of
had six.
out of let's say roughly 20 something. I'm not going to do the math right now. Yeah, I had the most wins with six predicted correctly, and you and Christy both had four.
All right.
So it
So
was
you
pretty
were
low.
30%
Yeah.
accuracy.
And I did the best out of all of us. So yeah, your record of the year was Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA, which Cher incorrectly called as Luther
Luther.
Vandross. Yeah, Cher never
Mhm.
change. Album of the year was Bad Bunny though, and a probably the most emotional moment of the night. So you did call that.
So does that mean I win
Song,
everything then?
yeah.
Because I got the
Well,
top prize?
no, that's if we tied, and that did not happen.
Oh.
Song of the year, however, went to Grammy favorite Billie Eilish with the kind of lesser Billie Eilish song Wildflower. I think as years go
Mhm.
on, that'll be one where people question that win. Um, so yeah, out of the big four, I wouldn't call them surprises, but I wouldn't call them easy predictions either. I don't know. They kind of live in this middle ground, except for the Bad Bunny win. I think it's a good thing that was the last thing that was the cherry on top of for the night because
Mhm.
it left me feeling okay with how the night went overall. But yes, the like you mentioned at the top, the most important part of the show is that it was a perfect place for people to use their platforms to speak against the atrocities that are being performed by ICE agents in the US, especially Minnesota. It was nice to see such solidarity amongst the Grammy Award winners and a lot of talk about the strength of immigrants in this country, how no one is illegal. And it was great to hear powerful people say powerful messages that people are going to hear. So yeah, I'm looking forward to maybe part two of that tomorrow with Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance, or not tomorrow, Sunday, but I have my doubts that it's going to go that hard.
It is presented by Apple Music, though,
Yeah,
but NFL does have sway in what is and
yeah,
isn't allowed on screen ever
yeah.
since Janet Jackson
hmm
24 years ago.
24 years ago. It does, I mean,
Okay.
bring to mind,
Okay, to be fair, it wasn't Janet Jackson's fault. It was Justin
yeah,
Timberlake's fault. Everyone
right,
forgets that,
yes.
and they
We
blame her and
we
not
forget that.
him.
But yeah, easy to think about. Like a comparison is last year's Kendrick Lamar performance. Also
Mhm.
didn't really get super political. So yeah,
Unless you were
this
Drake.
Yeah, unless you were Drake. But yeah, so I more or less expect Bad Bunny to stay in that kind of similar lane where it's mostly about the spectacle, mostly about entertaining, and maybe a sly hint at something in the background, but it will be less emphasized. So, but still looking forward to
You know, if he comes out with the jacket on the back says, I don't really care, do you? It'd be perfect.
it. Maybe we'll see.
Because he'd be promoting the Melania movie, which we'll get to.
Yeah, well, maybe. But yeah, we'll talk about, of course, the Super Bowl halftime show next week. But in the meantime, let's move on.
Yeah, just real quick, my take on the Grammys,
Oh, sure,
just
yeah.
like you said. Performances, good, fun, exciting, except Bruno Mars and Rose and Apt just opening the show in a
Uh,
wildly big, kind of bombastic way, but
I didn't hate it. I thought it was fun. I thought that how rock take on that song was interesting, at least. But yeah, to
yeah,
open
but
the
if you
show
go,
like
yeah,
that
to open the
was,
show, just be like very in your
eh,
face, like, okay, like you're just gonna like
yeah.
throw that at me, all right. Because I think most consensus online I saw was they should open with Huntrix and Golden and get
I
that kind
mean,
of out of the way because it's the most popular song. It's a
yeah,
way to
maybe.
introduce the common crowd instead of that, but it was okay. Um, but yeah, speeches were great. Like you said, people use this platform. That's part of like using your platform, using your voice. Like
Yeah.
you can't, when there are atrocities, you can't stay silent. And using a microphone, an audience, anytime you get a chance to speak about it is a positive note in the step of the right direction.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
We
Yep.
may be small here, but we still voice our opinions here when
It's
necessary.
yeah. Everything matters.
Yep. So, tell me what's the matter then with Ratboys? And did I
Nothing's the
get it
matter.
right when I
Yes,
said,
Rat
or when
Boys.
I alluded to, it's called Sing into an Empty Chair,
I mean, no,
just
that's not really.
sing into an empty chair.
No, no,
What a
not quite.
wonderful
All right.
thing, and they're happy again.
No, not quite. No, this is a new Rat Boys record. I usually wouldn't talk about something like this, but however, I just finished listening to it before we recorded, and oh my, this is the best thing they've done. And I said that last time. Their record, The Window, was my favorite album from 2023, I believe. And so I had high expectations for this one. Those high expectations were easily blown away. It was way better than I even thought of. This was one of those albums where I listened to it, I was like, oh, yeah, almost every song is as good, if not better, than the song that preceded it. And that's always a wonderful, rare feeling. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, this is going to be hard to beat this year. Everybody else has got to bring their A game. I recommend this not even if you're just an indie rock person. I recommend this to anybody who likes rock music, guitar solos. Like, there's excellent stuff in here. Even people who are like on the fringes of like kind of alt country, there's a little bit of country vibe. There always has to their music, but it's still here, even as they've gone bigger and more widescreen with their sound. I 100% recommend this to anybody who likes those genres to at least give it a try. Um, think the window really expanded the kind of things that they're doing with their music, but while at the same time not losing their spirit. And this one doubles down on all of that. And I think it's just fantastic end to end, start to finish. Check this out.
I know that you can't like physically put arrows pointing to
Yeah,
me,
you need
but
I want you to
this is you
try this.
subliminally saying I
Yeah.
need to listen to this.
I want you to try this because I have a feeling you like it. And if you do, explore their back catalog.
Yes.
Like I they're one of the few bands that I can say pretty much with confidence I don't think they've ever had a bad record.
Ooh,
I
that's high
like
praise.
I've liked all of their records since their first record when I found them over 10 years ago. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, but I think this is maybe the best thing they've
All right. I'll add it to my homework of Rat Boys
done.
for the weekend.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's move on.
All right, let's go on to video games, where we start with new releases.
Yes.
And what a big week for releases!
What a week.
Oh my gosh, where to start? Let's go
The
with
top.
let's start at the top with My Hero Academia: All's Justice for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. I
Yes.
believe this is the beat 'em up,
Hmm.
the fighting game,
I have no
character
idea.
fighting.
You would know more than I would.
I'm pretty sure that's what this version of My Hero Academia.
Got it.
We also have Neo 3, the threequel for PC and PS5.
Yep.
We also have Mugenics for the PC.
Mhm.
I'm guessing no relation to the Pokemon.
No relation to the Pokemon, no.
All right. There's Romeo is a Dead Man on the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X.
That is the new Suda 51 joint. If you've liked his previous games, including the No More Heroes franchise, it
Mhm.
follows in those footsteps. So there you go.
There's also BlazBlue: Entropy Effect Cross or X or 10 for the
One of those.
PS5, Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch. That is your beat 'em up, as is with the BlazBlue franchise. There's also Chromagun 2 Die Hard for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and the Switch 2. That's
That's
also Die with a Y.
yes, thank you. I was going to mention that if you didn't.
Uh, we have a big release over on the Switch 2. It's whew, Fever. And there's only one thing I need.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's Mario Tennis Fever.
Yeah,
And
Mario
well,
Tennis Fever. I've heard that unlike the last time they put out a Mario Tennis game on the Switch, this one's actually good. So, yeah,
well, I would
um,
hope so because I bought Mario Tennis Aces.
I
I
did too.
regretted that purchase
I
two
played
weeks
it
later.
like twice. I
Yeah,
feel like so bad about that, but here we are.
I believe it was a COVID purchase too because we needed
Yeah,
something to play.
it was same.
There's also Ride 6 for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. And lastly, Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties for the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, and the Switch 2.
Yes, that
It's your wide
continues
release. You got it. You
yeah,
can play it.
that continues the Kiwami series, which is the remakes of the first three Yakuza games. This time they've gotten to three, and I believe Dark Tides is like a special add-on.
Their extra DLC expansion.
Yes.
All right, let's get into video game news. And there's so much
Yes.
happening that we got to all gather together for the bits.
I don't know what's up
The
with
bits,
2026,
the
but we've
bits,
only
the
done
bits.
like three or four podcasts, and every single one has had a bits section for games because there's just so much happening.
Both good and
And
bad.
bad.
All right, so first we're going to go over to the world of PlayStation,
Hmm.
where Guerrilla Games and PlayStation have announced a new Horizon game, Horizon Hunters Gathering.
I don't know how much you saw about this, but this confirms the long-standing rumor of a multiplayer focused Horizon
Mhm.
game in that universe. I didn't see the footage of this, but it seemed like that rumor was true. Yes, that's what this is.
I didn't see this. I just saw it come up on my phone saying, you can
Yeah,
pre-order this now. It's fully announced. I'm like, oh, that was a thing.
that was the
Okay.
thing. It's happened. They kind of dropped it out of nowhere on a Friday in the middle of the day, so I don't know whether that's a sign of maybe the quality of this product, but we'll see.
I mean, I think they want to get it out ahead of the Super Bowl too.
Maybe.
Maybe there's a trailer.
Maybe. No.
Maybe.
Probably not during the Super Bowl. We'll get to something that will be during the Super Bowl, though.
Yep. We also had over Nintendo side and a partner direct that happened.
Yeah, I'm not going to break down the whole thing because the partner directs are, of course, the ones where they focus on third-party games.
Mhm.
I will say the most notable thing that got announced here is that it finally happened. The other shoe dropped. Microsoft has shown up, but in the form of Bethesda games getting Switch 2 ports. So far, the games that are coming over right now, more could be announced later, are Oblivion Remastered, the version that came out last year, the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, and one other one. What was the other game that's coming? Or
The
is it
one I
just
saw, probably not related, was Borderlands 3 or yeah,
that's
4.
not Bethesda.
No, but related to the partners
No,
direct
but
though.
actually weird fun fact. I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't have room for it, but the Borderlands 4 Switch edition has likely been canceled completely. It looks
Oh,
like
already.
development has been completely stopped on it, which makes it seem like they're just going to abandon that idea.
Womp womp.
Couldn't get it to work. But yeah, forgive me if I'm forgetting one. But yes, this implies that there will be a relationship of sorts with Bethesda and possibly expanded out to Microsoft as a whole going forward. So don't be surprised if you see more of these kind of events trickle out as the year goes on. More announcements of more Microsoft properties coming to Switch.
All right. Sticking with Nintendo news, we have a new champion to crown, as the Nintendo DS is no longer the best-selling console.
Nintendo
Move
console.
move out of the way, because we have the Switch. OG version, Switch 1, however you
Mhm.
want to call it, Switch, is now Nintendo's best-selling console.
Yes.
For Nintendo, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
still trailing PS2 numbers.
Correct. Yes. So yeah, in the total rankings of everybody, not just Nintendo, yes, the PS2 still has that lead, but the Switch is gaining on it. However, an interesting aside to this story, the Switch 2 right now in its life cycle compared against the life cycle of the Switch 1 is actually outperforming it. So, when all is said and done in 5 or 6 years, we might actually be talking about the Switch 2 as the best-selling Nintendo console. So, watch this space. Unless, of course, the price goes up later this year, which could very well happen.
It just might. And speaking of pricing,
Hmm.
Valve has confirmed that rising component prices have delayed the price and release details for Steam Machine. Steam
Yes.
Machine.
We knew this was likely, and confirms that Steam was apparently about to release more details about the launch of the Steam machine, and they have pressed pause on that because RAM prices, chip prices, like everything has gone up to the point where they were just not confident. I think another reason I heard this speculated on a couple of podcasts I listened to this week is that they might see competition of sorts with Microsoft talking more and more about the next Xbox being basically a PC. That's pretty much the same idea that the Steam machine has. So pricing is the big question between those two models, right? Microsoft might have more leverage to price theirs more competitively than Valve can. And so they're probably thinking in the back of their heads, what do we establish as a good price for a PC based console? Because then whoever comes next is either going to undercut that or meet that. And so it'll become an arms race, I think, going forward to see who gets their announcements out first, and depending on how these prices go.
I mean, this was always the case with Microsoft and Sony when they announced new consoles. Part of the console wars, what would the price point be,
Yep.
and would they undercut with the second announcement?
Yep. I think it's going to be a very
Except for
interesting
the
thing to
PlayStation
watch.
3, which came out to $600, and you could easily undercut that.
Yeah, it turns out Microsoft had no problem coming in under the PlayStation 3 price. That's for sure. Of course, the Xbox 360 was already out before they announced the PS3 price, which also helps.
Yes.
Anyway.
Anyways, speaking of Microsoft, now they officially own Overwatch.
Mhm.
Yes, technically Overwatch was shut
Yeah.
down in terms and in favor of Overwatch 2 being released,
Hmm.
but now they're dropping the 2 and making it
Yes.
Overwatch again.
Hmm.
But it's gonna be a full revamp, and you get 10 new heroes, and you can continue the story and beg people to come back.
Yeah, I think they regret doing this at all. From what I understand, the director who actually had the whole idea behind relaunching as Overwatch 2 and selling it as another product is he no longer with Blizzard. So they probably saw this as a opportunity to be like, nah, never mind. We're gonna hit reset, do what we should have done in the past, make Overwatch the platform, and just continue iterating on the platform as it is. So yeah, 10 new heroes all dropping at once is a kind of a big deal for a hero shooter like this. So that'll probably put a jolt into the community that's already there and maybe bring new people in. And yeah, seeing what they changes they decide to make, what how they expand it. Also, this will coincide with the Switch 2 release of Overwatch.
Right, and just what they should have done all a long time ago, just keep calling it Overwatch and
Yeah.
introduce new season after season, not
Hmm.
necessarily a completely new product, or even
Yeah.
just shutting down the original servers. That was also the dumbest move on their part.
Yeah, no, this is probably returning to where they should have been in the first place.
All right. And lastly, speaking of returning where they should be in the first place, Pokemon. We are here with the 30th anniversary.
Yes.
We've survived another 10 years from the 20th anniversary, another 5 years from the 25th anniversary,
Yeah.
in 5 more years, we're going to have the 35th anniversary, and
That
in
is how
10
time
years, we're
works.
going to have
Yes.
the 40th anniversary.
You're just
I was
describing
waiting,
time.
I was waiting for 20 years when the 50th anniversary comes out, and
All
I can
right.
be the really old man that says, I remember back in the day when you put
Honestly,
batteries into. Actually,
that
we're kind of
doesn't,
there already.
yeah, that doesn't feel that far away when you say that 20 years. I'm like, what? I'll be like thinking about retiring from the state at that point, maybe. Like, anyways, it's like not that far away when you think about it. But yes, no, let's focus on what we're celebrating this year, which is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. You're probably thinking, but wait a minute. That's because it launched 2 years later in the US. This is celebrating the Japanese release of Red and Blue, which is 1996. So, yes, 30 years for the franchise, not necessarily the US release or the international release. So yeah, no one knows exactly what kind of ad this is going to be. All we know is obviously they ponied up a lot of money to get this lucrative spot. Super Bowl ads are probably the most expensive they've ever been, I would imagine. And yeah, the question is, are they advertising a product or are they advertising the brand as a whole? I'm leaning towards the second one. I really doubt this is where they make any announcements. So don't get your hopes up for, oh, this is Detective Pikachu 2, or don't, or oh, this is the virtual console, or not virtual console, the Switch 2 release of Red and Blue Classic, or this is Gen 10 reveal. No, don't get your hopes up. This will be some CG Pokemon interacting with real people, and it'll be like celebrating 30 years or something like that. It'll be very simple. It'll have some Pokemon in it, but don't expect any announcements.
What they could do is run the same ad they ran 10 years ago for the 20th anniversary
Yeah.
for the Super Bowl spot. Just change it to 30th anniversary,
Yes.
and they'll be all happy and dandy because
Maybe
that
add some
20th
new
anniversary
Pokemon.
spot was
Yeah.
just reminding people that it's 20 years for Pokemon,
Yeah.
and two, that there would be a Pokemon Direct happening a week later, which
Right.
would then announce Pokemon Go. And we all remember
No,
the
yeah,
summer
that
of
went.
2016 of
Yeah,
Pokemon Go,
and we all Pokemon went to the polls after that.
and everything was fine.
That's true. Yes. The thing to keep in mind is don't like obviously there will be no announcements because Pokemon Day is just around the corner. Hold your horsies because it's coming.
Hey, use the correct term. Hold your ponitas.
Ponytas. Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's literally a Pokemon called Horsey, so it
Yeah,
just felt better, but
yes,
sure.
except you're going to be in the water for that.
You do have to do that. All right. Those are your bits.
Uh, those are the bits. Have you been playing anything?
No. Actually, no, that's not 100% true. I jumped into a little bit more of Power
Enfield?
Wash
Enfield?
Simulator.
Enfield?
No.
Ah,
No, I'm not gonna play it. I told you. Um, I jumped to more Power Wash Simulator 2, just literally cleaned up some missions. Haha, see what
ah,
I did there? And some more. I jumped back into the show because baseball is almost here, and it just felt like I needed to. So
because you
yeah.
don't plan on picking up the Aaron Judge
Um,
coverage?
I'm waiting a little bit. I'm holding my horses per se, just for them to confirm whether or not we're gonna get that phone game or not, because I want to see one if we're getting it, and two what it is before I commit to a console game. Um, I don't know. Like if the phone game has features that I'm interested in, maybe I'll try it. That's kind of where I'm at. It's just that they haven't confirmed it yet.
Mhm. Oh, well, I've been playing more Enfield. I
Okay.
have completed the story for Enfield. I've done the epilogue for
Oh,
Enfield.
so you're caught up on content.
I'm caught up on main story content.
Mm.
Still got a lot of side quests to do.
As this usually goes, yes.
Yes, and during this time, I will be upgrading my armor, doing all the relatively mundane tasks.
Be grinding.
Oh, yes, now the grinding begins.
The
Now
grinding
we
man.
start playing the game.
Now the game begins.
Yes, someone called it's now a grind field.
Oh no. You're not selling this anymore, by the way, to me. I'm still not interested.
All right. Well, the newest Infinity Nikki's still going
It's still there.
strong for me. It's
There
still
whenever
there.
I want it.
They try to add, or except they added new currency that I need to complete. I'm like, nope, I'm going to stop here
Nope.
for a while for it to go back to it.
Not worth it.
All right. But
All
yeah,
right.
that's what we've been playing.
Yep.
So now we just scoot over into
Yes.
the unofficial official section of television in this within television
Yes.
of the sports section.
I maybe we should just stop saying television first and just say now we're going to talk about sports because it is officially as of this week as big, maybe even bigger than our other sections. It is a behemoth that is slowly taking over the podcast. Let's just do it. We cover five things here, and one of them is sports. Let's get into it.
All right. So starting up the sports section, we're going to kick off with the finale from last weekend, the Australia Open, where Anya Sabalenka did it again.
Yeah.
For the second year in a row, she is the runner-up in the Australia Open.
Yeah.
This time to Elena Rybakina of Kazakhstan, who, funny enough, she actually beat in
Hmm.
the Australia Open finals in
Ooh,
2023.
revenge tour.
It kind of is. So, kind of a different result for Elena there. So,
Hmm.
she gets the victory and the trophy. And Sabalenka, once again, well, one, she already won the AO in 2023 because it was against Lana, but once again, taken away in the finals. Over in the men's section, Carlos Alcaraz defeated Djokovic to become one, the AO champion, but two, the youngest player ever to win a career Grand Slam at the age of 22. He is now the ninth man overall to accomplish this feat. avoiding the
Wow.
Australia Open, US Open, French Open, and Wimbledon,
Wow. Congratulations.
all before the age of 22.
Wow.
The Australia Open was the only one he was missing. Otherwise, he would have done it sooner.
Fair enough.
All right. Also, well, this weekend up,
Hmm.
this upcoming weekend. Well, no, yeah, this upcoming weekend we have the Waste Management Tour over in Scottsdale, Arizona, where rowdy drunk people shout and scream at golfers, and then all those same people then get on a plane and go across country to Florida, where Daytona is next weekend, and the overlap of
Daytona.
those two events is a circle.
Wait, are you saying that the waste management people should take out the trash on that course?
I'm saying they should just end up calling it the Wasted Management Tour Open.
Oh, you've been thinking about that one for a while. You've just been
Oh, I
waiting
have
to
been.
drop that on a
You
podcast.
know I have.
I know you have. All right.
All right. But yes, this upcoming weekend, the
Mhm.
one we're going to into right now, is
Yes.
of course the Super Bowl weekend.
Yes.
And with it, the NFL honors were announced. And your MVP in the league is none other than quarterback for the Rams, Matthew Stafford.
Hey.
Holla! He wins the MVP award by one vote
Woo.
to current quarterback in the Super Bowl, Drake May for the Patriots.
All right.
So, so yeah, Matt Stafford in his speech said he does plan to come back, that the job is not finished. So he will be back for the 2026 season, at least for now.
Okay.
As for your other honors, Vrabel of the Patriots wins your Coach of the Year. Christian McCaffrey, running back for the where stadium is being hosted in Levi Stadium, the 49ers, wins Comeback Player of the Year. Although, really, I feel like this award should go to Joe Burrow because that dude broke his ACL, sorry, broke his Achilles
Mm.
at the first week, and then still came back and played in the games in the same
Wow.
season. If that's not a comeback, I don't know what is.
I don't know.
We also had current player on the Seahawks, Jackson Smith-Njigba, win Offensive Player of the Year. We also had your sacks leader, Miles Garrett, win Defensive Player of the Year. Also on the Browns, Carson Schwessinger won Defensive Rookie of the Year for his linebacker. And Tedroa McMillan won Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Panthers. And former Seahawks linebacker, former Rams linebacker, current Bills linebacker, I think is where he's at. Bobby Wagner has won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Congratulations to Bobby.
Mhm.
And they introduced a new award this year for offensive lineman. The inaugural Protector of the Year went to Joe Thuney on Chicago Bears. As with the NFL awards, we also had the Hall of Fame class of 2026 announced. And we have officially getting their gold jackets and being inducted into Canton, Ohio. Quarterback, Brew Drees.
Oh, Drew Brees.
Yes, Brew Drees.
Brew Brees.
Receiver, Larry Fitzgerald. Running back, Roger Craig. Linebacker, Luke Kuechly. And the leader in all-time career points, career
Yes.
field goals made, and consecutive field goals made. Kicker Adam Vinatieri.
Old man Vinatieri finally made
Old
it.
man, yes, finally made it, making him the fifth kicker ever to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. By the way, his career points 2,673 career points over his tenure.
All those threes add
And
up,
yeah, all those
turns out.
things add up, and all those ones add up
Yeah.
as well.
Threes and ones, threes and ones.
But yeah, congratulations to you five. Your busts will be coming. in August, as with the Hall of Fame game. No announcement yet on who will be playing in that game, but don't be surprised if you see the Saints versus the Cardinals or the Patriots in there or the Packers in there. All right. But yes, everyone get out of the way. The superb owl is upon us because it's time. The Puppy Bowl
No.
season 22 is here. And I hear they have a special Bad Bunny performing during the halftime show.
Do they? Do they really? I wouldn't be
They
surprised
really
if
do
they
have
did.
a bunny performing during
Of
the
course
halftime
they
show.
do. It's like it's such an easy win for them. It's like, okay, halftime show time. Let's put a bunny
Let's
in
put the
there.
rabbits out there.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
before they used to do the kitty halftime show where they have the
Yes.
cats come in, but this is better. This is better than
Yes.
that. I
This
love
is more on
cats.
brand.
Yeah, this is
But
funnier.
yes, the Super Bowl is this weekend, the big
Yes, that's
game,
true.
if you're not allowed to
Actually.
call it that.
Yes, the big
If you
game.
don't have express written consent from the NFL.
Actually, there's a really funny radio ad, and I wish I could remember who did it. This was years ago. This was decades ago at this point. But it was basically like a chili company, and it was like, you can get a super bowl of chili. We've been told we can't say the name of the big game this Sunday, but if you would like something to eat while you're watching the game this weekend, get a super bowl of chili. It was good. You know, it's what I think of every time I think of the Super Bowl. You can't call it that. Yeah.
Yes. We have the Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots in a rematch.
Yes.
10 years in the making.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny
Bad Bunny.
will be performing
Yep.
at the halftime show.
Yep.
Charlie Puth will be singing the national anthem.
Hmm.
Randy Carlisle will be there singing America the Beautiful. Coco Jones will be singing Lift Every Voice and Sing. There will be two additional performances, a tailgate pre-performance by Teddy Swims and an opening performance by Green Day. Yes,
Sure.
that Green Day.
Yeah, why not?
Prop bets on what song will be performed first is available at your local phone.
Yeah, no, don't. We don't we here at the Media Vote podcast do not condone sports gambling or anything related to the sport. Or gambling really on anything that is
It's
not in
not
a
gambling if you
casino.
know Green Day is going to open with American Idiot.
I mean, that seems like the move, right? Like it would make sense. But also, if you're the NFL, I imagine at least one of your representatives have told them not to do that.
And I'm sure Billy Joe Armstrong gave them one good reason that they should do it.
You know, you say that, but I feel like 2026 Billy Joe Armstrong, I don't know. We'll see, is what I'll say. We'll see what they do.
We'll see. All right, let's get into some other anything else about the Super Bowl before we go? Because I'm personally
No,
just
not
rooting
really.
for the halftime show or the halftime show, the commercials, the snacks.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's like not a very exciting matchup. It's not a very exciting I mean, Bad Bunny is probably going to be a highlight, but I'm not like super psyched about it because I think that I just have a lack of familiarity. But there's a lot of people in the world who love Bad Bunny, and they will be probably very satisfied by whatever he brings. But yeah, not a whole lot. I will say one thing cool about it, at least here in the US, is that if you have Peacock, it's streaming, baby. No cable subscriptions required, no antennas to connect. You just get it, which is a upgrade. So that's nice at
Oh,
least.
we'll get to Peacock in a bit.
We will. We'll talk about Peacock.
All right. But yeah, other sports happen, including the NBA trade deadline. It occurred on
Yes.
February 5th, and new faces are wearing new jerseys,
Yeah.
including Anthony Davis, who was traded last year from the Lakers to the Mavericks, is now traded again from the Mavericks to the Wizards. Also joining the Wizards, Trae Young. So now they're both Wizards. Kristaps Porzingis is now over at the Warriors. The Lakers have added Luke Kennard. Chris Paul, formerly of the Clippers and like five other teams, is now gets to add the Raptors to the ever-growing list of teams he has played on. Lonzo Ball and his father, and James Harden are now rooting and playing for the Cavaliers.
Sorry, I laugh whenever I hear about the
The
Bulls.
Are you thinking of the Keenan Thompson
Yeah, I'm
ball
always thinking
sketch?
about Kenan Thompson's impression of the dad. What's the dad's name?
Alonzo. Alonzo ball?
Alonzo Ball.
Yes,
It's confusing.
it is, isn't it?
Anyway,
All right. Anyways, what's not confusing is the NHL because we don't get to watch NHL for 2 weeks. They're
yeah,
on break until February 25th because of the stuff happening in Italy,
yes,
which we'll talk about
we
in
will
real
talk about.
shortly here.
Yes.
And lastly, over in the college ball NCAA, two big news drops happened this week.
Okay.
First, money. The
Money.
SEC distributed $1.03 billion
Whoa.
to its scoop to its 14 schools with
Yeah.
over the course of the 2024-2025 fiscal year, which is actually an increase of $200 million from the previous year.
Whew.
And on average, each school received $72.4 million increase. This significant jump in funding arises as the collegiate landscape transitions into the newest era with media rights and memberships.
Mm.
These funds are designed or are designated to support a wide range of needs from academic resources to health and wellness programs for thousands of student athletes,
Hmm.
not just the football and basketball players,
Yes.
all NCAA athletes.
That's important because, yeah, if you're going to put this much pressure on your student athletes and make them that much the focal point of your school and marketing and everything, you have got to invest in their actual resources to keep them good students and good athletes. And this, thankfully, looks like what they're doing.
At least that's the intended
Yeah, the
purpose.
intended purpose. Let's cross our fingers here.
Yes. All right. Speaking of NCAA basketball, Alabama center Charles Bediako is in the middle of a heated judicial controversy, which is scheduled for a court hearing today, wherein a judge will determine whether the NCAA may enforce its eligibility rules against him so he can't play for the Crimson Tide.
Hmm.
Now, we haven't covered this story, but it is kind of important.
Yeah,
Charles Bediako is currently 23 years old. He went undrafted 2 years ago after starting on the Alabama team that was the number one seed at the time in the NCAA tournament.
sure.
He had 2 years of eligibility remaining at Alabama, but declared for the 2023 NBA draft,
Hmm.
uh, where he did go undrafted in that draft, but did sign a professional contract, including a two-way deal with the San Antonio Spurs.
Hmm.
And since he did, he appeared in multiple G League games, but never in the NBA.
Hmm.
Now, he is saying that he still has 2 years of eligibility left going back to school, where
Okay.
he is with the Crimson Tide and is currently playing. But there is a temporary restraining order put against him per the NCAA's eligibility rules.
Okay, so what happens?
We'll see what the judge says.
Yeah, I legitimately don't know enough about draft rules when it comes to basketball. Like I don't know enough about how that works.
Well, it's not just basketball, it's all NCAA players.
Oh, okay.
Can you, especially with this new, so previously it was you can't, is that you were designated as an amateur athlete. You couldn't be paid to
Yeah,
play.
right.
But now with new NIL deals,
You can
what's the
technically.
difference of
Yeah.
this NBA team paying me to play in the G League,
Hmm.
but not in the NBA league?
Right. You're not technically in the major league per se. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, this will set precedent. I think you're right because how this goes will probably determine how a lot of college athletes make decisions about being drafted, right? Because if this goes through, then most people are going to be like, well, I can get a draft, like I can get a deal, I can like put myself on the draft list and like get drafted and then play for this lower echelon of professional sport and then go back to school. It's crazy.
Well, here's the thing. They currently do this for baseball players.
Yes,
If you're
that's
a
what I'm
baseball
thinking.
player coming
Huh.
out of high school or in
Mhm.
college, you are eligible for the draft. But you could also forego that to remain in
Right.
college
To go
or
to
high
college.
school, go to college.
Yeah, in fact, this is best exemplified in the Road to the Show mode in last year's MLB The Show. For the first
Hmm.
time ever, they showed that process in the game. And yeah, it works as exactly as you said. So that's what I meant by I don't know how it works in basketball, because that was what was playing in my mind. I was like, well, I know how baseball does it, but I don't know how the other sports do it. That's also the NCAA, technically, because they run college basket or college
Yes.
baseball as well. So I'm wondering if there are maybe different precedents that have been set there. I mean, the difference is of course, what the show shows is that you have the choice of basically saying, yes, I got drafted right out of high school, and I'm going to just stick with that, and I'm going to be an 18-year-old in the minor leagues.
Hmm.
Or if you do choose to go to school, you just say, yes, thank you for drafting me, but I decline to the professional league that the team that drafted you. That's how it works in the video game. Obviously, it's probably simplified there.
Right, and that's what I decided in real life because the G League is just like the minor leagues for baseball.
Yeah.
Could you play in a minor league setting and then go to college and still have years of eligibility?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking.
Because he's
I'm interested.
technically not a graduate
Right.
and he's only 23, so he still is within the eligibility of age for NCAA as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which is
I'm
why
interested
you
to
have like
see.
the BYU players who go on missions for 2 years, come back, you're playing
And come
20-year-olds
back. Yeah.
against 18-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I'm interested to see which direction this goes because, yeah, you're right. This will be a significant decision and it will establish a precedent going forward.
Yeah, we will keep our eye on this.
Yes.
All right. And lastly, in
Mhm.
sports, we'll talk about it right now because it's in the
Yes.
thought section, but I watched it. Did you watch it? Can I spoil stuff?
Yeah. No, I watched it.
All right.
Because it aired live in the middle of the morning, thankfully for us.
Yes. The Milan Olympics, or Milan Cortina,
Milan
sorry.
Cortina, to be
Yes.
specific.
Are here. The cauldron is lit. The
Yes.
games are
Hashtag lit.
officially declared open, even
Yeah.
though like, we've had the trials and trainings before then.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a cool moment. The opening ceremonies were just as bombastic as you'd imagine they would be, coming from
Mhm.
Italy, a country known for its history of art and culture, and they definitely showed that off with a lot of references to their colorful, let's say, history. It was very cool. Then the usual opening ceremonies business happened, including the country's processing in. Although this time they had it in multiple locations, so that way, say people who were located near the mountain in which the ski events were happening did not have to go to the big stadium, and instead there were cameras set up so that they could do their procession from where they were based. Um, I imagine that this will be maybe a preview for how the 28 LA Olympics will work as well, because they also, from what I understand, are going to be stationed in multiple cities around the sprawling Los Angeles metropolitan area. So can't imagine they're going to cram everybody into the crypto.com arena. Anyways, assuming
Oh
that
no,
that's
it's
where
at
they go.
SoFi Arena.
Oh, SoFi. Well, actually, then, yeah, there's plenty of room for everybody in SoFi, so maybe. Uh,
Yes and no, because they're going to use SoFi for the swimming events, which means they're going to put a pool in
there's
there,
a pool in
and they got
there.
to take time to fill it up.
Maybe they use that as part of the opening ceremony. I don't know. I don't know what LA is cooking up behind some closed doors right
If
now.
they don't use the SoFi Stadium infinite scoreboard in the
Oh,
middle to
they
light
have
up
to.
the ring, they
They
have
have to.
to.
All
You
right.
have to.
Anyway, back to Milan Cortina.
Current
Yeah.
Olympics.
So this Olympics. Yeah. No, I thought it was pretty impressive. Yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. There wasn't like anything mind shattering about it. Everybody always thinks about Beijing 2008. This was no Beijing 2008. But it was entertaining.
I mean, there was also the 2012 London Olympics where they
Yeah.
literally forged the rings in the floor and
That was pretty
raised
cool.
them. That
Yeah,
was
that's
cool.
pretty cool. These were more
Uh,
hanging rings that they eventually hung up in the middle and they joined
mhm,
together as Olympic rings are wont to do. Yeah,
yes.
pretty good.
Yeah, pretty standard, like you said. Yeah, nothing like too outlandish, nothing memorable. Tokyo had the pictograms, which was very
Yeah,
memorable, but yeah,
yeah.
nothing here.
I'll mention
So,
real briefly. You had
oh,
something on here that I deleted, and there's a reason for that. Our favorite
uh,
television show, Gold Zone, technically does not premiere today. It premieres Tomorrow is day one of Gold Zone coverage. Starts way early in the morning, 5 a.m. Pacific time, if you're ready, because most of the Italy, like most of the Italian events, happen while we're sleeping. So
Local
sorry, bad
time.
news.
Well, no, they happen local time. Yes, Lindsey Vonn
Yeah,
will do her skiing at 2 a.m.
2 in the morning.
local time,
Yeah.
which, if you're up, you can watch. But yeah, our favorite event, Gold Zone, will happen at 5
Yes.
a.m., which means tomorrow I'm waking up 5 a.m., Gold Zone.
I am not going to
Sunday,
do that, but
waking
enjoy.
up, Gold Zone. Monday, waking up, Gold Zone. Tuesday, Gold Zone. Wednesday, Gold Zone. Thursday, guess what? Gold Zone. Friday, still there, Gold Zone. And then guess what? You do it all over again next week. 2 weeks of Gold Zone.
Yes. So we'll talk about Gold Zone next week when we have Gold Zone that we have watched.
Yes, it's just a reminder to remind you
Yes.
that Gold
Gold
Zone
Zone.
is here. The best TV will, by the end of the year, go up against the still best TV.
Yeah.
The Pit versus the Gold Zone. Watch
The
this
Gold
space in
Zone.
December. Which will I choose?
We'll find out. All right. Look forward to that. Okay. But
All
we
right.
have a sport that we haven't talked about yet.
We do?
Yes, you skipped it.
Oh, yes. Baseball season.
So close.
I know, we're so close. And speaking of going to a judge, arbitration happened in MLB for the two-time reigning American League Cy Young winner, Tarek Skubal.
Hmm.
It went to arbitration, went to a judge, and they ruled that the Tigers must pay Skubal the number that Skubal wanted, 32
Yeah.
million a year.
So yeah, your story
Skubal's
mentions, yes,
yeah.
that this is the highest salary ever arbitrated in the arbitration system. So congratulations for the win. This is a big win for players, and the player association, I'm sure, loves this. And yeah, honestly, I think this is a win for the Tigers too. Sure, they get to spend $13 million that they may or may not have budgeted out, but they get to keep Scoople, who is still one of the best pitchers in the league and one of the reasons why the Tigers have been a competitive playoff team. So I think this is a win. The Tigers look even better than ever going into this 26 season. So I think this is a win-win when all is said and done.
Oh no, it's a loss for Tigers management because they tried to pay the two-time Cy Young winner
I know.
$19 million. dollars.
They tried to lowball him, but of course they did. But ultimately, he was not going to have it.
I mean, here, well, they're playing baseball here. And part of baseball is you got to play hardball. And
Yeah,
part of hardball is
exactly.
you got to have a good pitcher.
Got to play Moneyball, I've heard.
Oh, yes. They tried to play Moneyball here.
Yeah.
Tigers lost.
School played hardball, and he tossed him a tricky sinker that they didn't that they chased outside the zone. I think here is the metaphor.
Well, they wanted the judge to sink the deal and go
Yeah,
low, but he lost his tips and went high,
he's
up and
good.
over the Tiger's
Yeah, he
head.
climbed the ladder, and then yeah, they lost sight of the ball, and then yeah.
Yep. And Scooball hit a home run
Pitching.
from it.
Hey, all right.
Hey, got there.
Anyway,
All right. Anyways, we do have an update from last week, the FanDuel update.
yes, we do.
All right.
Uh,
So payment, speaking of money, poof, did not arrive.
no.
Yep. What this does mean, though, is that effectively all team contracts have ended.
To be
The remaining
specific,
games,
the team contract for the MLB with Main Street Sports slash FanDuel Sports.
yes, the remaining games in the existing NBA and NHL deals will still air,
Yes.
but MLB teams will have to find alternative options.
Yes.
This means the Cardinals, the Brewers, the Marlins, the Reds, the Royals, and the Rays will all join with the MLB as their broadcast partner.
Yes.
So, and the Tigers are likely to follow.
So, what this means is if you are familiar with the Padres deal from the last two seasons, that is the template. So, basically, this means that you will be able to watch games from those markets in your local market on MLB.tv for about $20 a month or a $99 package for the season. Also, this may or may not involve the teams going to local broadcasters think of your city's equivalent to your local like CBS affiliate or something, like a local television broadcast station, like broadcast network, for once a week games, say on like Saturday nights. That's the so every game in and also this also except with the exception of major market games that are airing on say ESPN Sunday night or Apple, for example, if they renew that deal, still haven't heard whether that's happening or not. Something like that, or like a Peacock game. Those will be exceptions, but all the rest of the games you'll be able to watch on MLB TV for a price.
Yep. This is just the next step in MLB trying to become the NFL, where they own all the TV rights and purchase it as one
Yeah.
package. But there's two teams that we left out, though:
Yes.
the Braves and our local Angels.
Yeah. Uh-huh. They want to be difficult, turns out, of course they do.
Yes, so they are reportedly in talks to buy out Main Street's portion of each of their existing networks and operate them themselves,
Mhm.
which means that both the Angels and the Braves will likely have to negotiate their respective NHL organizations, being the LA Kings and the Atlanta Hawks, to join them on the new venture.
So far, what we know about these two situations is that Atlanta has more or less confirmed that there will be a Braves network of some sort. No word on exactly when that will launch and where and how, but presumably it will involve some sort of buyout of the existing agreement, which will write out the now defunct Main Street property. Um, they will be having a conversation with the Hawks organization to see if they would join that network and stream their games there too. Similar thing is happening with the Angels. Our favorite guy, Artie Moreno, wants to play his game and try to own that too. So he himself plans on paying to buy out the Main Street Sports portion of what now is called FanDuel Sports. FanDuel Sports West is the official name.
How can he pay? How can he plan to buy them out when he was trying to sell the team because he didn't have money?
This is what I was talking about last week, which is the thing about this Angels offseason has been there are looming money question marks that were the reason why we didn't go out and buy the big names. We could have. We could definitely afford it. But you know why we could afford it? Because of broadcast revenue. This is the thing about the Angels is that regardless of how badly they play, they are in one of the biggest markets in the country, and they make the money to prove it. Their broadcast rights are almost yearly in the top three most lucrative money making broadcast rights in the entire league. So Artie's thinking, I want a piece of that pie. No, actually, I don't want a piece of that pie. Don't cut out a slice. I want to buy the whole pie and eat it myself. So he wants to cut out the middleman and be the man, which is a very arty thing to do. So yeah, that's the plan here. He wants that to be his station, and he wants to talk to the Kings organization and say, "Hey, you guys come over to my thing. Be under my umbrella." And then it'll just be like it was before, where you tune into one network for Kings and Angels games. And no, the Clippers are not involved this time.
Right, because the Clippers typically are a part of that
Yeah.
deal with Bally Sport and
In the past,
FanDuel
they have been, but
no
maybe
longer.
not this time.
Yep. But yeah, for those of you wondering, in the hockey, aren't the Ducks like the logical option? No, they're on
They are
Victory Network. They're
they're
at their own
good.
thing.
They already have a
They're
deal,
off.
and that's not a network that's going away, and so they didn't have to do this. And so yeah, the Kings, however, will be afloat after the end of the season, just like the Angels will be in going into their season. So yeah, they both need a home, and Artie's got a solution because he always does, doesn't he? So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, the solution is to let the clock run out and have Shohei Ohtani go into free agency and lose him to the crosstown rivals,
Uh,
the Dodgers, where he'll win a championship and win a championship and win an MVP and win an MVP.
you don't need to rub it in.
I'm not. He is. I'm not.
Anyway, so yeah, watch this space. Well, actually, don't. We probably won't report on that here on the show. This is probably the last we'll talk about this, but
until we
on
have an
the Eagle
actual place of where
podcast.
we're going to watch the Angels.
But I will text you personally when I find out more because I'm
Yes.
sure when this is set in stone, the Angels release a press release, an email will be sent out, and everybody will know the Angels network or whatever will be created and we'll know where to watch Angels games. I look
You
forward
know
to
he's
that.
going to have a big head and call it Moreno's Plus.
Oh God, I hope it's not Moreno Sports. Can you imagine how disgusting that would be if we had to kowtow to him and watch Merino Sports in order to watch Angels games?
He'll just make a new shell company, call it Moreno Charter Spectrum Plus Ultra,
Yeah, maybe.
and that's
But
how he'll do the video
I
rights.
do have to say the silver lining to all of this, a lot of people, a lot of Angels fans were pointing out, is if this means the return of Saturday night games on KTLA 5, then we all do kind of win.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yes. Once a week, regular broadcast games.
Yeah. Oh, also, they did mention that in all likelihood, they would be taking the existing cast, like the existing team that have been bringing the broadcasts for the last few years, with them if this happens. So Mark Gubiza won't be going anywhere. So Mark Gubiza Goopy fans unite.
Yes. Scooby Tuesdays
Goopy
will return.
Tuesdays will never end. Anyway,
All right. Hey, I think we got through sports in about 30 minutes.
I think we did. I mean, it was a massive section, but now we can finally move on to television news,
All
where
right.
we're going to start with something called the Tilly Tax.
Hey, which Tilly are we talking about here?
Let's find out. So, the Sean Astin led SAG-AFTRA is preparing to sit down with the studios on February 9th to discuss AI and other topics months ahead of the June 30th contract expiration. One of the ideas is that in the future, studios that use synthetic actors in place of humans might have to pay a royalty to the union fund. Quote, the number one thing is still residuals, says Kate Bond, a strike captain in 2023 and a member of the union's LA board. Quote, is there a way to make it so when a show goes up on a streaming platform, we get the equivalent amount of money as a network residual? End quote. The threat of another strike is always on the table, but for now, the alert level is low. So, yeah, you have the union here to
Yeah.
kind of talking through
Sorry,
what.
there was supposed to be a however
Okay,
there.
however, but yeah, I got the gist of that.
Yes.
But yeah, the union's already trying to figure out a defense against what they imagine that the studios are going to want. They're going to, of course, the Tilly you mentioned in this Tilly tax is that fake AI actress that they teased at last year.
Yes,
That
the
I don't think,
Tilly Norwood.
yeah, who has not really officially been in anything of note, so really doesn't matter yet. But yes, that they said could be cast, quote unquote, in a film going forward and could be seen as a new model of how we see actors in films. Like I said, not an immediate concern. This has yet to happen for real, but the union wants to get ahead of it, have solutions in place for if the studio threatens such activity.
Right. And we knew this was happening when Sean Astin assumed leadership of SAG-AFTRA,
Hmm.
that there would be contract negotiations this upcoming year.
Yeah.
And just like the strike in 2023, members are ready to strike if
Yeah.
it's necessary.
And as we've seen, they will if they deem it necessary. And nothing has stopped them before. So, yeah, I am interested to see how these negotiations go.
Yeah. But yeah, AI, still no solution. Maybe we'll have one in place here. And it seems like Sean Astin is, I don't want to say like bowing to like, okay, we have to deal with AI and the future of AI actors. Because, if I'm sure if he had his way, just like most of us, we would have no AI
Right.
creations
Yeah. You would think.
in media at all.
But alas, the studios aren't going to have it that way.
Yes.
I wanted to mention a quick show to add to our thoughts. I promise this will be brief. I'm just going to let everybody know that I watched the new Muppets Show special that's on Disney Plus.
It is 30 minutes. I thought
Yes.
this was going to be a series. It is
So,
not.
well, that's the thing. So it seems like the one of the purposes of this is to kind of use it as a pilot. If it's popular enough and if the streaming numbers probably specifically are high enough, They may decide to make this into a series. And after watching this, they absolutely should. This executive produced by Seth Rogen is the Muppet Show reunion that people have been waiting for almost like plus 40 plus years. I'm not even kidding. They managed to make a new version of this concept that feels like it really does have the spirit of the classic Muppet Show. I was really, really impressed with it. It's very funny. The Muppets deliver all the things you want Muppets to do. Sabrina Carpenter is a really good first inaugural guest for if this does become a series. I think it's a good template to base on. And yeah, it looks like it's just made by people who love that original format, want to make a variety show in 2026, and do not care if it feels archaic. And it's wonderful. It's exactly what you want it to be.
Right, but see, the Muppet Show went off air in 1981 or something.
Yeah.
So, like 20 years before Sabrina Carpenter was even born.
Yes. No, she makes that joke in the show. There's a line not too dissimilar to the one she did in the SNL premiere or
Yes.
anniversary special, where she was said, like, yeah, I think she's talking to Miss Piggy, and she's like, yeah, I grew up watching you. My parents grew up with you, watching you. My grandparents, and then of course Miss Piggy
Yes.
stops her. It's a good bit, but yeah, it's pretty good. I recommend you check it out.
I had planned on checking this out. I got sidetracked in
Yeah,
actual other stuff.
fair.
But otherwise, sorry, Enfield, sorry. Yeah,
Wow, yeah,
I
get
did
your
plan on
priorities
watching
in
that.
order.
Uh, now that my factories are in order, yes, yes, they are.
All right. Enough about your package. Let's move on to
All right.
cancellations and
What am
renewals.
I no longer watching?
You're no longer watching the Kelly Clarkson show because after 7 seasons, it is officially ended. Kelly says that her reason for the ending the show is to spend more time with her family, and I think that that's a good lesson and a good reason to close your show. But yeah, end of an era there.
Hmm. Yes, this is she's going away forever. It's just that the show, in syndication on the Daily Talk Show, will be ending.
Yes. Similarly, you have the end of another syndicated talk show, Sherry.
Yep, the Sherry Shepherd show.
Yes, after 4 seasons of that.
Yep.
Also, HBO has confirmed that House of the Dragon, the Game of Thrones spinoff, will end after its upcoming fourth season.
Yeah, they actually got to end it
Yep,
properly and
and
not try and drag it out.
there you go. Good plan, I think. Also on HBO, It's Florida, Man. We'll get a third season. Apple TV is bringing back Your Friends and Neighbors for a third season. Happy's Place, the Reba vehicle on NBC, will get a third season also. A Man on the Inside, a media boat favorite, will get renewed for a third season on Netflix. That's good news. Finding Her Edge will get a second season on Netflix. Dark Winds, ooh, spooky, will get a fifth season on AMC. And then we have two deaths to talk about. First up, Chuck Negron, age 83, a singer famous for being in Three Dog Night. He sang Joy to the World in an old fashioned love song. So every time you think about Jeremiah being a bullfrog, think about Chuck Negron.
That is his voice
Yeah.
introducing you to Jeremiah
Yes.
and his bullfrog.
Yes. And then we also had Sonny Jurgensen, age 91, a Hall of Fame NFL quarterback. Played for the Eagles and the Redskins and an NFL champion back in 1960.
18 years in the league.
Yeah,
Back
that
when it was unorthodox to be 38, 39 years old in the league.
also note that year. That means that he was a champion in a game that preceded the Super Bowl.
That's
It
why it
didn't
says
even have a Super
NFL
Bowl yet.
champion.
Yes, not Super Bowl chip. That didn't exist in 1960. Crazy. All right, let's move on to the last section of the show, which is movies. And we always start the movie section with the weekend box office numbers. And if we're in that batting, if we're batting, we're not doing too hot because we whiffed again this week. Shelter was not your number one movie.
No, you're here.
Instead, it was Send Help, which I don't think was even, looking on this, wasn't even on our list.
No, it was not.
Send Help is a Sam Raimi horror movie that I only knew because I saw people talking about on our blue sky on my blue sky this week. So no, I don't know why you didn't have Send Help in your release calendar.
I don't know either. I completely missed this.
So I don't know. Do you think then I'll let you decide this? I know you already did the thing, but do you think we get a pass on the loss stat because this is a movie we didn't know was coming out?
I'll give myself a loss for not having it on our calendar.
You don't have, I'm saying you don't have to do that. You could just wipe it. Like you just say that last week doesn't count.
No, no, no. This is a loss on me because I should have seen this and I should have put it up there.
You said
But
it, not me.
would we have put Send Help as the top one then?
It would have been definitely of mind. I don't know. Like that's the thing is that's why I think the reset makes sense is because we don't know how that conversation would have gone if we had known a Sam Raimi horror movie was coming out. Because when's the last time he did that? Uh, Drag Me to Hell? Like it's been a while.
Oh, are we not counting Multiverse of Madness,
No,
the
because
Marvel
that's a
film?
Marvel movie and not a horror movie.
It's a Marvel horror movie. Or
It
say
doesn't
it's a
count.
Marvel movie with horror elements.
That doesn't count. But yeah, Send Help was your number one movie this week with $19 million dollars in its first week, followed by number two, Iron Lung, which also wasn't on our list. But I actually did know what this was. This
This
is
was
based
the
on a game?
Markiplier, based on
Yeah.
a game directed and starring YouTuber Markiplier.
So I didn't know that part of it, weirdly enough. I knew that it was based on a game because they showed it as a trailer in front of one of the games we saw at our local art theater here in Long Beach.
Hmm.
But I did not know it was that YouTube guy that was involved and had basically financed it himself and all that stuff.
Yes.
But
Financed it for like $500,000 or like $2 million.
wow,
And
okay.
yeah, got
Fun
wider
fact.
distribution as the theaters he was in were selling out and ended up with number two in the box office.
Yeah. With $17 million dollars in its first week. Following that, at number three, Melania, that documentary movie about Melania that's financed by Amazon, the same Amazon whose Jeff Bezos basically laid off and gutted the Washington Post this week. Yeah, that Amazon and that Melania made $7.1 million dollars.
Uh,
I don't have thoughts
Directed
about
by
this.
Brett Ratner. Yes, that Brett
Oof.
Ratner.
Oh, I felt a little literal chill go down my spine when you said that name. Anyway, number four, Zootopia 2, thankfully saves us $5.6 million. That's at 409 domestic. And number five, rounding out your top five, it's still here, folks. Avatar,
Oh,
Fire and Ash, $5.6 million. It is
that is wrong.
definitely not at 5.6 domestic. That is at
That
question
is
mark.
wrong.
We'll talk about it next week. And
That's
rounding out
300
your
million. That's not over Zootopia yet.
and rounding out your top five with a top six, your number six is Shelter, the movie we thought was going to be number one with only $5.5 million. We were only $10 million off.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
10 million went to Send Help, 10 million went to Iron Lung.
yeah, shared the wealth this week. All
Yes.
right, let's move on to this week in new releases. Thankfully, there are other movies coming out, but do you want to see them? I don't know if I do. We
I don't know.
have
We have
the str
Olympics. We have Super Bowl.
yeah,
I don't think anything's going to be showed this
stay
year.
home this week, I think, because your movies this week are The Strangers: Chapter 3.
The third chapter in the
Uh,
Stranger series.
I don't know what that is. Number two, a movie called Dracula.
Yes.
Just Dracula.
This is hilarious because this film stars Christoph Waltz.
Oh,
This
as
film,
Dracula?
no, he hunts Dracula, or he's the
Oh,
doctor to cure Dracula.
okay.
But Christoph Waltz was also in Frankenstein last year.
Yes.
Yes. Also,
Okay.
technically, Dracula is a French movie by Luc Besson, and it premiered last year in the French
Oh,
markets.
so this is getting its US release this week.
Yes, which
Got
means
it.
that Christoph Waltz was in both a Dracula and
Dracula and a
Frankenstein movie
Frankenstein
in the
movie.
same year.
The dark universe is real, folks. We finally got there.
And it was through Christoph Waltz all along.
Yeah, it was just Christoph Waltz. That's the thing we didn't know. It was actually just going to be Christoph Waltz. All right. We have rounding out the three movies coming out this week. We have something called Solo Mio to continue
This
our
is a
Italian
Kevin
theme.
James dramedy.
Sure. So they're trying to make Kevin James a Adam
Relevant again.
Sandler style, like he can pull off a semi-dramatic role.
Yes, semi-dramatic of he was a groom. I believe it's Runaway Bride style.
Sure.
But yeah,
We'll find
focus on the
out.
groom.
Actually, we won't find out because I don't think I'm going to see this movie.
Okay.
We
But
need to make a prediction.
can I put negative box office numbers?
I don't know. This is so crazy. Like I have no idea. I don't think any of these movies sound like movies that people are going to be really excited to go out and see.
Yes, but here's the thing though. The people who are excited about these movies are the same people who are not excited about the Super Bowl, who are
Oh,
not excited about the Olympics.
I s- I think I know where you're going here. Are you saying Melania is your number one movie next week?
I'm saying Iron Lung gets a wider release.
Oh, and I don't know if I agree about that. I don't know. This is tough. I mean, if you want to say Iron Lung, fine. And I'll just say Send Help carries over. How about that?
Okay.
Let's just do that. Keep it simple for next week.
All right. Iron Lung, send help. We don't think anything's gonna topple.
Like I said, like unless this scenario, fantasy scenario you're drawing up where Melania is your number one movie because everybody hates Bad Bunny and wants to see it, I just have my doubts that that's the case. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. We'll
We'll
see. All
talk
right.
about it next week. But in
Yep.
the meantime, our movie news takes us to a once in a, I don't know, a decade thing that we so rarely get to talk about here on the Media Boat podcast. An official changing of leadership at Disney. Yes, Tuesday morning, the white smoke appeared from Cinderella's castle as Disney's board of directors announced that Josh D'Amaro will replace Bob Iger, who has been at the helm for nearly 2 decades, with, a brief period where he wasn't, but we're just going to pretend that didn't happen.
Yes. Yes. The
A
the the
different
the,
Bob.
the Chapek dip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure. Chapek tip. I'm going to have that at my party on Sunday, so hope people get a lot of that. Anyways, it's full of hotels that don't actually that bug you at night. It's really
Yes.
crazy.
Just beware.
Um,
Don't pull out a pink slip.
you don't do that. I don't know what would be in there. Beans, um, Disney beans. But yes, Damaro is not a stranger to the company. He is a businessman who has been there for 28 years. He's been the chairman of Disney experiences around the world, including cruise ships, resorts, and theme parks, including an upcoming one in Abu Dhabi. Disney's corporate website calls Damaro, age 54, the quote, architect of the largest global expansion in the history of Disney experiences, unquote, to the tune of $36 billion. Damaro is set to take Bob Iger's place officially on March 18th, 2026. As CEO, Damaro will be tasked with steering the world's biggest media company, I don't need to tell you that, including Disney movies, of course, 20th Century Studios, Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, Pixar, ABC, FX, and Hulu, as well as theme parks and all those Disney experiences we mentioned. And of course, also be the one who has to inherit Bob Iger's stupid licensing deal with OpenAI Sora. But that's his problem now. We don't have to deal with it. We just get to witness it. So, yeah, I guess welcome, Josh D'Amaro. And let's see how the Amaro era of Disney goes.
Do we have to worry about it today, or can we worry about it tomorrow?
Get ready for like 2 decades of those jokes. Because this man, it kind of glazed over this, but this man's only 54. You're probably saying only 54 if you're a youngster in the audience. But trust me, when we're talking about CEOs, 54 is a spring ass chicken. This guy is young compared to the people who preceded him. So keep that in mind. It's going to be interesting to see that like now they have a guy who's potentially going to be there just as long as Iger was.
I've seen split decisions about this online.
I would
Part of
imagine.
people who know who Tomorrow is and
Hmm.
that they like him over at the parks, and other people who see this as just, oh, Chapek too, because he was also coming from the park side, as did Chapek did.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that parks people are especially sensitive to change. If you talk to any Disney adult who goes to Disneyland a lot, they will tell you, they will make it very clear how they feel. And yeah, the vibes I've got actually, I agree, have been fairly negative the last 10 years. It seems like people have not liked a lot of the major changes to the parks. I think the COVID era changes that they made, including reservations and all that stuff, has really soured a lot of fan experience. I think also the change from Fast Pass to Genie and all of that complicated mess with the new way that annual passes work. And of course, the fiasco with the hotels, et cetera, et cetera. Just watch that Jenny Nicholson video. Yeah, it's been a lot. The parks have been a lot in the last decade, and so it'll be interesting to see one of the guys who was spearheading all those efforts to now be in charge of the whole company.
Yeah, so like I said, mixed motions right now.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
still have about 6 weeks until this actually takes effect, which means come March 18th, I'm gonna go to my fridge, take open and pop open a bottle of nice bubbly red Josh and toast to Josh, the new
To
CEO of
Josh.
Disney. To
Yeah.
Josh.
I mean,
Yes, I
we'll
also
see.
now have to apologize to everyone who names their kid Josh. Yes, apparently you can have a CEO named Josh.
You can. I didn't know either, but you can apparently. He's not
Apparently
even
that
a
is indeed an
Joshua.
option. No,
Yeah,
not Joshua.
not Joshua. He's a
Joshua.
Josh.
No, no,
No,
he goes by Josh, not
he's a
Joshua.
Josh. All right. Let's stop talking about Josh.
All right.
Until next time, we probably talk about Josh. We
Which
probably
will be
will.
in 6 weeks.
Yeah, probably. But in the meantime, we have one last thing to do on today's podcast, which is hopefully we won't take too much time, but I want to hear your thoughts about Best Picture nominee and one of my late additions to movies that I'm excited to see how it does at the Oscars. Chloe Zhao's Hamnet.
All right. I'll get this right off the bat. Chloe Zhao, great filmmaker,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
great cinematography, loves
Yes.
her nature shots,
Oh
loves
yeah.
using natural daylight,
Uh-huh.
loves using the nature of beauty.
Yes. The beauty of nature.
Great, lovely to look at.
Yes.
Jesse Buckley,
Mhm.
amazing in this. I agree with everything you said about Jesse Buckley.
Yes.
She goes
Absolutely.
ranges in this thing. She
Oh
goes
yeah.
places. It's a very juicy and meaty role for her to, not just for her, for any actress to
Oh yeah.
want, and
Easily.
part in part to Chloe Zhao for pulling all of
Mhm.
that emotion and intensity out of a Jesse Buckley for everything that's written there. Now, then we get to uh the not so positive light here.
What?
I'm sorry, I couldn't buy him as William Shakespeare. I just couldn't. Like I don't know, maybe it's just I don't know what exactly it is, but just every time he was on screen, I want to just would be like, no, get out of here, no,
But the movie's not even really about William Shakespeare.
no, it's not. But he's there constantly around like an annoying fly. I wanted to get, and I was kind of happy when he did leave and go to London because it means I didn't have to see him. But he does
But
save it
oh,
for the very end performance in the
yes,
Globe Theater.
100%. Yeah, that's the best moment.
Saves,
Yes.
saves his ass.
I don't know.
Saves.
I disagree. I thought he was good throughout, honestly. I thought he almost has to do just as much work as Jesse Buckley does. Yes, it's a little cheesier. It's a little more like it's a little more in your face because I think that's what you're supposed to get from his character in that
Hmm.
storyline is you're supposed to be like, oh boy, he's this man's not right. Like there's something going on internally with this guy and it's unclear. Um, but yeah, you're right. I think there's a turn with him. And yeah, that he does kind of let's to put it in a sports metaphor, he leaves it all out on the field out there, doesn't he?
He, to put it in a sports metaphor, he made changes at halftime and brought it to the second half.
He really, really does, doesn't he? But yeah,
Yes.
I mean, there's a reason why Mescal wasn't never necessarily in the running for your top five in actor or
Hmm.
supporting actor in this case. I think that there are definitely stronger performances. He's not the highlight of this film, so I will, I understand where you're coming from a
Yes.
little bit, but everything else, though, that's worth the price of admission right there.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's fun.
Yeah.
Fun is a
Fun is
relative term.
not the word I would use to describe this movie.
I'm sorry. I had a good time in the Apple
Oh
scene.
yeah, I enjoyed it, but it's not fun.
Oh no, it goes
Yeah,
places. As
yeah.
someone with someone awesome hanging around,
Yes,
it goes
uh-huh.
places.
I could
Yeah.
imagine. That probably works in a
I
different
had to
level for
step
you than
off.
it did for me.
Yeah. Made me a little bit uneasy and squirming in my
Uh-huh.
chair there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I bet.
Makes you feel stuff. That's
Uh-huh.
part with, like I said,
Yeah.
Jesse Buckley and Chloe Zhao. Does Chloe
Oh,
Zhao like win off of this
no.
though?
Unfortunately, no, I don't think she does.
No.
Um, because I think, yeah, I think that it's been a long time coming for Paul Thomas Anderson, and I think that it will be an upset if he does lose. But yeah, I do think if he does lose, this might be Chloe Zhao's because yeah,
Yes.
this is a very impressive film.
Hmm. But yeah, everything you said, agreed. I don't know if
Mhm.
I would put it on my top five,
Interesting.
but top because I don't know if I would want to watch again, and that's my criteria. But the
That's
only
kind of
reason I wouldn't watch it is
unfair.
because it's such a heavy subject matter. It's
Yeah,
so
that's kind of
heavy, hard
unfair
and
though,
heavy.
because a movie could be perfect and not necessarily be something you want to watch again. I think that that's not exactly how I'd do a top five, but hey, you're welcome to interpret it
Hey, but
that
it's my
however you
list, and
want.
I'm going to do it as I want.
Exactly. That's what we do here.
Yep. But yeah, uh, Hamnet. If you
Yeah,
haven't seen
Hamnet.
it, go see it, and then regret that
Okay.
you saw it, and call your mom afterwards.
Oh, now you just got to see Marty Supreme and then you have your check marks checked.
We'll see. It's on my list to see. It might become to streaming too, so I might just watch it then.
I don't know when though. Don't
Yeah,
wait too long. Um,
I know.
then yeah, on our list we just have I think we just have Bugonia still and Train Dreams still and
Train Dreams is on Netflix. I do intend on watching
yeah,
that.
those are the two
Begonia
that are
is
on
on
streaming.
Peacock. If you're not watching the Olympics or the
Yeah.
Super Bowl, you can watch Begonia.
Yeah, those are definitely things we're going to get done. Also, a movie, this is not related to the Oscars, just as a little aside. Christy's never seen the Lego movie.
Oh, huh? But
I
everything's
am
awesome with
s-
the Lego
uh,
movie.
I am sitting her down to watch that tonight. I told her, it's Lord Miller. How do you not know? You love Lord Miller. I mean, this is how back she goes with those guys. She's a Clone High fan from the MTV run.
Yeah.
So I told her, you will love this. And so, yeah,
Ooh,
well, we're going to do that
we
tonight.
should all go and see Hail Mary. Project
Yeah,
Hail
I'm
Mary.
very curious about that. Didn't see The Martian though, so I'm like, I don't know, maybe. Anyway,
Maybe.
all right, that'll do it for movies thoughts, and that means that'll do it for the movie section, and that'll do it for this Media Boat podcast. We're out of here in an hour
A
30,
little
just
bit
like
longer, but
usual.
yeah, hour 30.
Thanks you for joining us at this for the Media Boat podcast this week. We'll be back next week. But before then, you can catch us on the internet all sorts of ways. You can find our videos on youtube.com. If you search Media Boat Podcast, you'll find our channel. Like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications when new videos go live. You can find us on audio form on podcast services. Just search your podcast service of choice for Media Boat Podcast. You can also find us on the internet, social media. We're on Blue Sky at just search Media Boat Podcast there. You'll find us. And we're also um, on, yeah, that's pretty much it. Twitch.tv/MediaBoat. You've been streaming again, I've noticed. A lot of
Yes.
Enfield business.
Yeah.
So
I have a lot to do in infield.
if you want to see Mike grind, you can tune into silence. You can tune into twitch.tv/mediaboat and watch that ad. And I'm sure it's a spectacle like you've never seen before. And then you can email us if you have questions, comments, any feedback you want to give us to the show, about the show, whatever words I want to put in there. Mediaboatpodcast@gmail.com is that email address. We will read those emails if sent on the podcast.
And
So,
if relevant.
yes. So we'll be back next week for another episode. We'll have a Super Bowl recap. We'll talk about Bad Bunny's halftime show. We'll talk about maybe some movies we fit in over the week.
And we'll talk about Olympics.
Yeah, and more Olympics and first week of Gold Zone coverage, which we're excited for. We may record on a different night. Stay tuned. But yes,
Yep.
we will report back next week. So tune in for that.
Yep. We'll be back next week with more news, more thoughts, and
All
lots more
right.
sports coverage, and more of us.
Yes. All
All
right. See
right.
you then.
Bye.
Okay, bye.